Okay, two subjects. One, the issue with the right wing in education right now. And a really good, like, very simple way that I could point out, well, why would they trust anybody's claims of how great education is? Or how great, like, education does, or something like that. Why would anybody, knowing this, if this is their example, why would they want more of that? Then the next is this recent thing that's come up, which I think is one of the most telling. Like, there's no way of complaining about this without kind of being like, yeah, let me show you what's up in my head. Like, let me expose to you my game, let me tell you who all my clientele is. Just why is the right suddenly infatuated with good-looking women? It's so bizarre. Like, really, truly one of the strangest things. So, two topics that it's like, sort of like, okay, so you're complaining about the right because you feel like they're winners and you're losers. Because that's what this sounds like. So I started rolling through it with the the education issue. More and more, it's even becoming clear now to the left that the whole point of making sure that Yale, Harvard, and Princeton are run by these, like, wacko leftist bigots that fundamentally won't let Asians in, and that they have, like, this whole kind of culture forming of kind of a blue army of elite the East Coast educated types, which, this tells you kind of everything you need to understand really about the movement and how proletariat, and working class it ever was supposed to be. But then beyond that, why aren't they trying to do this at schools like engineering programs, so that you have a whole bunch of people who agree with the Democratic Party, that are super equitable and have all the diversitronics and everything, but they're all engineers? Why wouldn't you want that? So that, like, going to Mars, you have, like, this kind of culture of people who all can work together very well, because there's, I guess, none of the hostility or something that exists when you all don't agree on political parties. Which, remember, this is all Democrats. This is their thinking. This only follows from their logic. I'm just going with it. I'm just trying to follow what the idea here would be. So the big thing, why is the right, the education thing and all that, well, healthy at any size? So what smart, educated person came up with that shit? Because that's not only is that not true, that's the antithesis. That's actually the nadir of accurate medical information. It's the nadir of it. It's a form of contraposition to being healthy. Is this weird movement, healthy at any size? And then everything you guys said about COVID, you got wrong. Every possible thing. Now congressional testimony shows, like, you should never listen to a liberal about health. Like congressional testimony would make you think these are people who really, really, really cannot tell the difference between, like, scientific information and kind of pseudo-scientific jargon. And which is interesting, because this is, of course, a group of people that the entire idea is that they were citing that you are not believing Dr. Fauci because of your lack of education. Now, somebody like me, I was wagging my dick around all over fucking Facebook, because I was seeing women who were nurses who I knew, like, since they were teenagers. And I went through, like, a pre-nursing program, and I'm like, I could make a list of things that Fauci is saying that are not accurate medical terms. These are not accurate medical terms. And so now I win. That's the beauty of it, is that I win. What we said about Fauci was right. And then on top of it, my theory about how bad this would get. I'm fried chicken man, and I knew cancer was going to be the problem. And I was citing a science fiction work. My citation was a science fiction work saying that the jabs would have to cause an outbreak of cancers. Look at what this guy wrote in just Android's Dream of Electric Sheep about messing with RNA. Now, because I, since a teenager, was fascinated with like genetic manipulation and that kind of stuff, and both my parents passed on from cancer, I just knew a lot about the way that cells worked. And it was also because, luckily, the program that we went through in Catholic school called Family Life was a really good program on human biology. It was primarily human biology. And then from there it got into, paralleled with basically things about a family and what normal life is like. And an amazing program. It lasted about 4 years. And when you got out of it, you had such comprehensive biological education. I went immediately into advanced classes in biology because Catholic school had taught life sciences and procreation sciences so well. Because you had to know your terms. That's the way Catholics are. You have to know your terms to refute all the wackos. So you have to win. So something I was starting to think about with this was, I was like, yeah, the quality of education is just now something that, no, you've lowered standards. You just lowered standards. It's taken decades, but now it's to the point that people can't understand being overweight is being overweight, and being overweight is oh my God, look at these idiots. Because apparently this is like a bank or something. They see, look at that, it's all the Nazis, they're Aryan Brotherhood people or something. Who even knows? This is the menacing. This is what the Northwest is. People just writing all over your buildings, just wackos and homeless people just doing whatever they like all day. They have to fence everything off. Look at how nice this is. Somebody could put in just one bench so you could sit on this really nice street that's real nice and quiet and read. Look, all these students supposedly live here. Why aren't they outside reading? Why aren't they outside reading? Why has this not been turned into something useful if education and the youth are so important? This was for like homeless families, like but look, they're all offices. Because what you need for homeless families are offices full of overweight people typing and, organizing their services, stuff like that. That's the Northwest right now. Low standards. The liberal enclaves, everything it doesn't matter if the job gets done. Everybody just needs to have some kind of perfunctory job. All this is fenced in now. There was some kind of services provided in this area. Now it's all fenced off. All these rocks are there so that the homeless won't sleep right there and menace people who live nearby. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So there was not only the education thing, but then the beauty thing. This one this one is funny because it's like, okay, what you're supposed to do is, rather than say, oh, the conservatives are so, they keep bringing up pretty women and then, try to dip on that or something. No, you say, well, we're all fly. I don't know what y'all are talking about on the right wing. That's what you're supposed to do to show you got game. But liberals don't got game. They're lames and marks and busters now. It's an embraced buster culture. So now what you have is this issue of this, oh, you guys love beautiful women because something's weird about you. That they have to sell that. Literally the party of Hollywood and pop singers. Where, I mean, who's the ugly pop singer that they're going to try to, like, get up there to, like, pwn? Nobody, because they get hot pop singers to advertise their party. Lizzo's not advertising the Democratic Party. Notice that. Notice that Lizzo is not the person that they're putting up saying, I'm so Democratic Party. They're putting up Taylor Swift because she is the hottest white woman right now that they can get for the money that they have. I think I'll let that one settle in. They can't even afford, like, a new and upcoming R&B singer. Most of these women won't get off the podcasts and show up to something where they'll be seen openly supporting the Democratic Party. Where are their models? I mean, to really, like, so what? All the models are on the right-wing side now. See, once the Democrats don't get that they do this so badly now, that they really have less and less talent helping them with this, or that their talent are liberal millennial wackos and whack shits and fatties and really weird chicks with really bad taste, which, like I said in a video that gotta make sure that I upload, bad taste is genetic. It has a genetic component. So a lot of women don't like the fact that guys might not like your style. It might be keeping you from getting hitched with who you want, and, well, it's nothing. Too bad. To change it, you'll have to kind of drastically change the kind of person you are. But you won't do that, because changing the kind of person you are is a very rational thing to do. It requires a level of maturity that you don't identify with kind of your teenage self anymore. It kind of a separation from this idea of, like, this is who my mom and dad would have known me to be, or my friends would identify me as. That's the real poisonous one. The one my friends identify me as. You become the you who has to be. And men usually have to do that, or else we go in a bad way. We just have to, we absolutely have to change. And so, and really, with the idea being, it's not so much change as you are adapting. You are adapting to how, a human changes over time. Well, more and more, kind of the younger generation is showing a lack of wisdom, that they don't adapt to the changes in their age. So we're going to see younger and younger people grow older and older and adapt with less and less grace. Like, the boomers are hurt, and it's only going to get worse. So so the beauty issue is really coming down to choices that are really genotypic issues that show through phenotypic signs. Why does a woman do that? Why does she talk like that? Why does she behave like that? So what you're seeing is basically the right wing openly saying, or openly showing you, we only plan to choose, or we will firmly assort. There we go. We will firmly assort mating tiers. In our community, mating tiers are firmly assorted. Evolutionarily speaking, women who have fucked up genetics, they think communism and socialism is great. Well, why? Well, can you reason out to them why it's not? Show them evidence, the reason speaks to them, if that doesn't work, which that's why they're communists or socialists, it just didn't work, and the reason didn't work in the first place, well, don't breed with them. Whatever you do, don't breed with them. Now, the Democrats need that. As biological forms, they need the women to be bred with capable males. They need their daughters to be bred with capable males, or it doesn't. It just keeps degenerating, and eventually, things like socialism and communism and such kind of collectivist ideas, they end up becoming associated with an entire end of like kind of the neo-scallywag kind, and that kind of thing is and people who are into genetics have said that's probably what we're going to see. We're probably going to see drug addiction and weird modernist collectivist ideas start to pool, because anybody who's aware of places like say the Philippines or Hawaii or places like that, you see groups pool and genetics cluster, and certain groups don't seem to relate to each other as well as others, and then it's an issue of, you'll also see very strictly kind of the assortive mating that comes with the different quote-unquote classes. And I don't mean economic, I mean like the old-fashioned class. You got class, your family acts a certain way. That's genetic. that's not just norms. People who like like women who really don't like dirt, that's genetic. That's not a norm constructed by civilization that was bred for. And it's because, most likely, that's something that, well, what does dirt do? It gets you sick in the wild, so it's just naturally been bred for as, well, these people stay really clean. Their family's really clean. That's not an abnormal thing to think. People don't marry other people because of how dirty they are. And there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, no, I know, yes, I could tell you a story. So because the Democrats cannot, by culture, admit anything about genomics being true, there's no larger evolutionary, you pick mates for a reason kind of thing, because they result from sexual collisions so often. That they're made up of people who like resulted from kind of, I mean, hence the divorcee thing. That this is a side of it that doesn't see really anything wrong with divorce, because everybody's happy at the end of it, right? No, some woman who's having more offspring from more suitable men, she's happy because she's getting paid alimony. All right, talk to you guys later.